There's a shortage of skilled healthcare workers across the country. What nursing students can do to help.
And a devastating oil spill off the coast of Southern California that authorities are calling an ecological disaster. We have coverage from our Los Angeles bureau.
And later on, break it down. Why are so many millennials dealing with chronic disease?
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Kylie Cochran.
And I'm Diana Quintero. Thank you for joining us. Hospitals nationwide and across Arizona are experiencing a shortage of nurses. Cronkite News reporter Rudy Cavazos looks at how graduating ASU nurses can ease this problem.
Staffing demand across Arizona has grown rapidly among nurses. For reference, Banner Health currently has over 500 nursing positions open.
The demand for nurses has increased greatly recently.
It's tough. It's hard work.
As the number of local hometown nurses isn't enough to keep up with increased ICU hospitalizations.
Because of the great strain on hospitals and institutions during COVID and the sort of burnout of so many health professionals, particularly nurses, I think there's been an increasing need for travelers.
Karshmer says a way to ease the high demand is from ASU nursing graduates ready for the field. The Edson College partners with hospitals and other facilities across Arizona to put student nurses in these work environments such as clinical placements before graduation.
For a long-term solution. So you're not doing onboarding every week, that you're doing onboarding as you have students, and then as those students graduate, they can be your workforce, they can be your employees.
And while finding nurses has proven difficult, keeping nurses poses a challenge as well.
People exiting and not as many people entering.
Chad Crawford of Fusion Medical Staffing explains nurses are leaving at alarming rates.
You're dealing with burnout, and you're dealing with maybe a portion of the population that is leaving healthcare altogether because it's just maybe been overwhelming.
Dean Karshmer says she wants students and field nurses to know that it is okay to take a step back and take care of themselves.
I'm not sure we've given nurses the permission to do that psychologically like we should.
And hopefully supporting student nurses before they hit the ER floor will be enough to help the industry.
In other efforts to help the nursing shortage, 750 nurses were contracted to Arizona hospitals earlier this month through Governor Ducey's $60 million funding to understaffed hospitals. In the studio, Rudy Cavazos, Cronkite News.
A leak from an underwater crude oil pipeline has caused thousands of gallons of oil to surface off the coast of Southern California. Investigators now say the pipeline was split open and dragged across the ocean floor, possibly by a ship's anchor. Jude Binkley in our Los Angeles bureau reports. The spill is more than 8,000 acres, which is about the size of carefree Arizona.
Last night, Governor Gavin Newsom declared a state of emergency in Orange County to help assist with the response to the oil spill.
As many as 127,000 gallons of crude oil have leaked into the waters of Orange County following an oil spill the public was alerted to Saturday morning. Authorities are calling the spill an ecological disaster that is already damaging wildlife. Oil has come ashore in several areas and could continue traveling through the water.
Yesterday we flew up and down the coastline here, and I would characterize the oil as sort of isolated ribbons or patches of oil. So it does cover several miles, and that is constantly changing.
Oil has been found from Huntington Beach as far south as Dana Point and could continue traveling. Booms have been deployed in 7 areas to help stop the flow of oil into sensitive wildlife regions.
Amplify Energy owns the pipeline that leaked. They say there was a sheen on the water that was detected Saturday morning, and authorities were alerted within 30 minutes.
We have examined more than 8,000 feet of pipe, and we have isolated one specific area of significant interest. There's more information to come, but I think we're moving very closely to a source and a cause of this incident.
The CEO of Amplify Energy says that the leakage has stopped, although they have yet to find a specific point of origin. The company vowed to send divers to investigate the pipeline, but local officials demanded more transparency.
If that is not done independently, that is a travesty.
The company should not be responsible for leading its own investigation with respect to the hundreds of millions of dollars of devastation that it did to our environment and our economy. We are going to feel the impacts of this oil spill for generations.
The Department of Fish and Wildlife is most concerned with the shoreline impact of the spill, as oil has already damaged wetlands, killed fish, and at least one seagull. In Los Angeles, Jude Binkley, Cronkite News.
Democrats in Congress are struggling to pass legislation to raise or suspend the nation's debt ceiling. Republicans insist Democrats should act alone, using a process known as budget reconciliation. But Democratic leaders argue raising the debt limit is a bipartisan issue. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says the Senate will vote tomorrow to break a filibuster and suspend the debt ceiling through December of next year. However, Republicans are expected to block the measures. Without action, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says the federal government could run out of cash by October 18th. Over 3,000 water catchments across Arizona help wildlife survive the drought. Coming up, we take a look at a program and its efforts to make these water catchments more efficient.
And clouds are covering the sky in Phoenix once again. We'll tell you how long this stormy weather will stick around.
Passport is adding new shows and doubling the number of episodes for you to stream. For the first time ever, our most popular programs have been selected just for you.
But there's so much more.
Whether you like to travel,
wow,
feast,
and calories don't count.
Look back,
that is me.
Discover.
You know the whole story.
There's something for everyone.
Let's get to it right away.
Stream on any device with Passport on the PBS Video app.
What you get from Washington Week that you will not get anywhere else are the best and the brightest reporters from different media companies, and they're able to have a real conversation about things that are happening in Washington and around the country. But it's also a show about issues that are relevant to different communities.
How do you think that...
As the moderator, I feel this deep responsibility to bring in those other perspectives so that people understand how power and politics impact their daily lives.
Friday nights at 7 on Arizona PBS.
Cronkite News provides students at ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism with the opportunity to gain real-world experience in the newsroom. At Cronkite News, our students produce professional content for audiences by taking on all roles, whether they be reporting, anchoring, producing, or studio production. Each department gives students first-hand professional newsroom experience. For more information, visit cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
There's around 3,000 water catchments throughout the state of Arizona in various states of repair. Reporter Balin Overstolz-McNair visited a site near Flagstaff to show us how they are used.
These man-made water supplies for wildlife were first built in the 1940s and originally for quail, but now they serve all wildlife. The Arizona Game and Fish Department is redeveloping the Middle Trick tank near Walnut Canyon as the need for water increases. They're installing a new system that could sustain itself for up to 50 years.
We have had a couple years here and there where we've gotten good winter rains or we've gotten good summer rains, but by and large, over the last 20-some years, putting together several good years of what we consider to be normal precipitation, they just don't seem to exist so much anymore.
Ed Jarkey, who manages water projects, says it's hard to know exactly how effective water catchments are because there are so many dating back roughly 80 years, but the animals do use them.
The site behind me, we've already had a herd of elk come into this, but without a doubt, they're usually in here. As soon as the trucks pull out, animals start to explore it. So.
Right now, contractors are hurrying to finish the Little Trick tank, which will drain water into here, where animals will be able to access drinking water during the hot summer months, but also throughout the year. These tanks are actually able to self-sustain themselves with rainwater if there's enough during the year. Arizona Game and Fish does not receive state tax money for these projects, and they have to create their own funding. They also rely on volunteers like Tom Mackin, who has been working on projects for 35 years.
Well, for me,
It's the personal satisfaction of knowing that I've made a small difference in my little corner of the Region 2 for game and fish.
Mackin says it's not easy work to help protect wildlife.
You talk about carrying capacity for wildlife. You're talking about food, water, shelter, and space. And without any one of those, the space and everything else is for naught. It has to be all in balance.
Volunteers have been maintaining water catchments since 2008. If you're interested in the Adopt a Catchment program, just know that there is a certification process and the work does require specific skills. In the studio, Bowen over Stoles McNair, Cronkite News.
Monsoon season is technically over, but the clouds are still covering the sky. You can see in this time-lapse video shot from the Cronkite building in downtown Phoenix, clouds moving through the sky, and they'll still be around on Thursday and Friday. This unusual weather gave us some more rain and thunder today, along with more than 50% humidity. Make sure to get those umbrellas out because rain is coming our way. Nick Shesky is in our weather center with more.
Yeah, lots of clouds and lots of rain coming all over the state of Arizona for tomorrow and tonight, especially here up in Flagstaff. That red means it's going to be pretty heavy rain coming there. But if we look and watch it as it moves these next couple days, it's going to move from north to south, and these clouds are going to roll in from the west. And it's going to be pretty cloudy across the state going till Thursday. And now looking at our temperatures for tomorrow, it's going to be pretty temperate temperatures as we head into this fall season. 91 in Phoenix, 74 in Sedona, and as cold as 63 up in Flagstaff. Now looking at our evening planner, right now we actually have some severe thunderstorms at around 6 p.m. right now. So be careful if you're driving anywhere, you're going to be outside, you might get rained on. And now going into our 8-day forecast, it's going to be cloudy for Thursday and Friday, going to be 91, 88. But then after those days, it's going to actually kind of cool down pretty drastically. It's going to get to 86, 87, and then as low as 72 on Tuesday. So you have some much cooler temperatures to look forward to next week. In the Weather Center, Nick Shesky, Cronkite News.
I'm Cam Dyer. Coming up after the break, I'll have your Cronkite Sports Report. Spring training in September? The Mexican Winter League prepared for their season right here in Arizona.
Passport is adding new shows and doubling the number of episodes for you to stream. For the first time ever, our most popular programs have been selected just for you.
But there's so much more.
Whether you like to travel,
Wow.
feast,
And calories don't count.
look back,
That is me.
discover,
And you know the whole story.
there's something for everyone.
Let's get to it right away.
Stream on any device with Passport on the PBS Video app.
What you get from Washington Week that you will not get anywhere else are the best and the brightest reporters from different media companies, and they're able to have a real conversation about things that are happening in Washington and around the country. But it's also a show about issues that are relevant to different communities.
How do you think that...
As the moderator, I feel this deep responsibility to bring in those other perspectives so that people understand how power and politics impact their daily lives.
Friday nights at 7 on Arizona PBS.
Cronkite News provides students at ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism with the opportunity to gain real-world experience in the newsroom. At Cronkite News, our students produce professional content for audiences by taking on all roles, whether they be reporting, anchoring, producing, or studio production. Each department gives students first-hand professional newsroom experience. For more information, visit cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Welcome back. I'm Cam Dyer with your Cronkite Sports Report. Spring training in September feels like an oxymoron, but that's what the Mexican Winter League did to prepare for their season. The team traveled across Arizona for games in Maryvale, Mesa, and Tucson. Cronkite News reporter Andrea Aguilera was on hand for the festivities.
Despite a rainy day, thousands of fans showed up to support their favorite teams of the Mexican Winter League. The Mexican Baseball Fiesta returned to Arizona for its 10th season of the league's version of spring training. The Fiesta began as a way for fans north of the border to watch their favorite teams play. Here, they're able to enjoy the league and the electric atmosphere of the Mexican Winter League.
We know we have a lot of Mexican fans that are here in Arizona and that might not get to go to the games over there in Hermosillo.
The event includes kids' baseball camps, tournaments, music throughout the games, and authentic Mexican ballpark food to help fans feel like back home.
Every year we try to get more involved with the community and in trying to get as close as possible with the schools, and not only for our Hispanic community, but all for the community in general.
The Mexican Baseball Fiesta travels through Maryville, Mesa, and Las Vegas before finishing this event in Tucson with a game against the University of Arizona's baseball team.
We love to feed off the energy that they have. You know, we always look forward to coming to the United States and practicing as a team and getting ready for the season.
It's a tradition for Mexican families to pass the love of the game in this league from generation to generation, no matter where they are. In Mesa, Andrea Aguilera, Cronkite News.
The number 5 Mercury can close out the semifinals in Game 4 against the number 2 Las Vegas Aces on Wednesday and clinch a spot in the WNBA Finals. The Footprint Center is hosting a doubleheader as the Mercury play in prime time after the Suns face the Lakers in a preseason game. Diana Taurasi can feel the support from the Suns and even the Lakers.
It's all about caring, right? Like, you can talk about money and business, but when someone cares about something, they're willing to do something that turns the tide. And I think the Suns, obviously Robert's been, our biggest fan forever. And for the Lakers to agree to it, that means they care. It's one thing to say and do different things. It's another thing to care and actually take action. And, that means the world to us. It really does.
NHL roster cutdowns are fast approaching, and the Coyotes will have some decisions to make regarding some of the organization's best young players. There are an abundance of roster spots still up for grabs, which means that some of the team's top prospects, like forward Jan Jeník, could finally get their chance to be NHL regulars. Jeník was a third-round pick back in 2018. He also has only 2 games of NHL experience under his belt. But with the lack of returners on the roster, along with a new coach, Jeník has a shot to make the team.
I mean, it's awesome, and it gives me the boost during the summer, to work even harder and do as much as I can during all the workouts that I don't think anybody likes. It's great because, you get a chance, you get out there, and either you do your best or you don't, and whatever happens next is just up to you.
That's all for your Cronkite Sports Report. Back to you, Diana and Kylie.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight.
Thank you for watching.